We're on Parliament Hill, a place of power, protest, and politics, but outside these gates, there's a group that just won't go away. They call themselves the Wellington Street Regulars.
I came here as an independent from Vancouver Island at a time when this country was in dire consequences as a result of the Liberal government putting on mandates and policies that were so disruptive to the people. I mean, that's why the convoy showed up here.
How many days have you been here for?
I've been here for more than 1,000 days.
Those who lived through the near month-long protests in our nation's capital won't soon forget. All the honking, chanting, and F. Trudeau signs. For weeks, police did little to stop them. Then everything changed. On February 14th, the federal government used the Emergencies Act. Police from across Ontario, including Mounties, brought in riot gear and horses, cleared the streets, arrested over 200 people, and issued thousands of tickets.
Freedom! Ever since then, two main narratives have emerged about what happened, who's responsible, and how they should be punished.
Freedom! The trials of key figures like Tamara Lich and Chris Barber have become flashpoints. The combined cost of their defense is approaching $1 million. Around a third comes from the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms. Another undisclosed amount comes from the Democracy Fund, both registered charities with deep ties to conservative and libertarian causes. But the rest comes from grassroots fundraising and sales from this memoir.
It's clear this movement isn't just about a few high-profile names, it's a network.
To better understand that lingering support, my producer and I traveled to Alberta and Saskatchewan in the spring. Our first stop, Medicine Hat, a city of 66,000 people about 3 hours southeast of Calgary.
Okay.
Where are we right now?
We are at the Tim Hortons in Medicine Hat, where I started, I guess, my advocacy. I joined a local group of people that would get together and rally every weekend.
Lich has been called the spark that lit the fire of the Freedom Convoy, but it all began here with an Alberta separatist movement known as Wexit.
We were all here for our own reasons, I guess, right? Mine was primarily, obviously, for the oil and gas industry.
This man approached us starstruck.
She is on the right side. She's a right-winger. And I love that.
Oh, yes. I had, well, lots of mail.
Lich invites us to her home.
Quite a bit of mail the first time I was in jail, too. I've got letters from people that have survived vaccine injuries. I have letters from people that didn't get to say goodbye to their dying parents in the hospital. I have stories from people that felt that they were absolutely forced to get vaccinated or they were going to lose their job. These past 2 years have brought on a lot of depression and hopelessness for the future. When we found out that there was going to be a freedom convoy for the first time in 2 years, I felt hope.
Lich acknowledges there is another side, Canadians who see the convoy as hateful, divisive, and lawless.
To thank you for sacrificing everything.
I ended up dropping 2 of the classes I was in due to the stress.
Home was not safe. Exhaust and diesel fumes belched up into my apartment.
And I got absolutely zero sleep going into
Nowhere were those sentiments more clear than at the Ottawa's People's Commission on the Convoy Occupation, a citizens-led inquiry into the disruption and trauma caused by 2022's convoy occupation.
It was hostile, and it looked like at any point in time, violence could erupt.
There's obviously things that I don't understand about their perspective.
We asked Tamara Lich if she's sorry.
I mean, and I don't mean I'm not sorry, as in I don't have a heart. I mean, I'm sorry that they felt that way, and I'm sorry that they have so much negative energy in their hearts about it. Because for some of us, it was such a beautiful experience. So I redid some of the lyrics, not all of them yet, to Folsom Prison Blues, and it's called Ottawa Prison Blues, and it goes like this. I hear the trucks are coming, they're rolling around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since Wellington. I'm stuck in Ottawa prison. Time keeps dragging on, and them big rigs keep rolling on down to Wellington. That was kind of fun.
So blue and white, eh? We leave Tamara Lich behind and hit Highway 1, the same long, straight road thousands of vehicles once took, all heading east toward Ottawa. After nearly 3 hours of driving, we arrive in Stewart Valley, population 107. At Chris Barber's family farm, he and his 2 dogs take us to greet Big Red, a 2003 Kenworth W900 in striking Viper red.
It has a story of its own. I've basically raised my children in it.
This rig has seen it all, over 3 million kilometers on the road. If Tamara Lich was the spark that ignited the convoy, Chris Barber was the wind keeping it moving. It was January 6, 2022, a day remembered for chaos in Washington when Barber took to social media with his own call to action.
Wherever you are, shut the trucks down.
A lifelong trucker, he volunteered as a road captain, leading thousands to the Capitol.
Ottawa police are parking us right behind Parliament Hill.
Can you show us what's in the back here? I noticed there's another deck called.
Oh! Well, as most people know, when Justin Trudeau called us the small fringe minority, we kind of took that and ran with it. So that's my sticker announcing that I'm a proud member of the small fringe minority with unacceptable views. There was an F Trudeau sticker up on the back. I've since retired that and put a more feasible, it's a better tasteful sticker, I'd say.
What surprised us most is how much of that anger has fizzled out. Gone too are the Confederate flags once up on this wall.
Those came down when I realized just how offended some people can be by it. I was raised in the 80s when we used to watch Dukes of Hazzard. Now the sentiments changed towards the symbol of that, and respectfully took the flags down a number of years ago. Well, I guess my most memorable thing would be the portrait that artist James Waldner painted of Big Red on Wellington.
For Barber, the Freedom Convoy was always about ending cross-border travel restrictions for unvaccinated truck drivers, the indignity he felt for his industry.
I wish people would acknowledge the amount of mental illness that's come out of this in the last couple of years. I just attended a funeral for a truck driver on the weekend that ended it because life is really rough. I think the lasting effects of the COVID on the people and the mental state in this country, the alcohol addiction, the drug addiction that's gone on the last while. I wish people would start recognizing that. It's actually the pandemic that we should be focused on right now more than anything. I did my part. I got vaccinated. I wore my masks. I did what I could for social distancing.
He says someone needs to be held accountable for all this wrongdoing. But what about the pain inflicted on the people of Ottawa? The endless honking, the disruptions, the harassment. At this point, my producer Felice Chin couldn't help but to share what happened to her.
So I got called like a dog-eating bitch.
From people in Ottawa?
Yeah.
Really?
And I'm sure it happened to other people too. So what would your response be to that?
Well, I'm sorry that somebody said that to you. That's obviously wrong, and it shouldn't take place in this country. It was nobody that I stood with. I never heard that there.
Like I said, I think they may be invisible to people who are white because you wouldn't say that to each other.
No, and I think that's where we've lost a big part in the last number of years. It's like we're desensitized to everybody else's feelings out there. Everybody's about getting underneath somebody else's skin. Everybody's about making the next person angry or humiliated.
Give you back more than they take. Why are the price of groceries gone up?
A few weeks after our trip to Alberta and Saskatchewan, another shouting match breaks out on Wellington Street, this time over the carbon tax. The internet is flooded with videos like these. Familiar faces on both sides, filming, provoking, and uploading their outrage for the world to see.
So this is where we are now. Nearly 3 years after the Freedom Convoy came and left, or rather was forcibly removed, the battle is continuing. Online, in the streets, and in the courtroom.
What began as a clash over health mandates has grown into a debate over rights, power, and identity. The words, the slogans, and tactics have changed, but the underlying tensions remain, shaping how we see ourselves and each other.